Colby, you know what's a really dangerous occupation?
I don't know, Barry. What is?
Antique dealers. You might have rivals, or you might just be a CIA agent. There's a lot of quotes in this movie, but I'd have to do it in the Chris Rock voice, and I don't think I could pull it off.
We were just talking about how accents make it. You should have done it.
Because then it's like black scent. What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. Welcome to the third week of a new beginning month or new start, fresh start. It's whatever.
Change in life.
And this one is, I was thinking it's a bit of a stretch, but then again, it's almost like our first movie for the month. Everything must go. There sometimes, in life, there has to be an end to something.
Right.
Before you can start something new.
Exactly.
Now, before we tell you what this is, we go to our first segment where I Dr. Seuss a trailer. Oh, brother, tell me where art thou? Because I'm stuck in your place, and am I in deep now. Getting trained by CIA, but being given a runaround so I can trick these arms dealer before they decimate the town. Can I play my estranged dead twin bro, or will I never make it home? We're talking about 2002's Bad Company, starring Chris Rock and the legendary Anthony Hopkins.
I love both of them. I did not even know this movie existed.
It's the same way that I've never watched the original Willow movie. Some things just fly under your radar.
Right.
We were talking about the Willow reboot, and I just had no connection to it because I never watched it when I was younger. But this I did watch when I was younger.
Okay.
But it's funny. I feel like I think I was also in my mind, it's oh wait, is this the movie where they're spies again? But it's that one is actually with Jack Black and Will Smith or something. It's Enemy of the State.
Oh, okay.
Also in sort of it's a very similar, not the same premise, but it's a spy, an accidental spy movie.
Right.
And this one, I don't think it's very hard to really picture Chris Rock as a spy.
Isn't there also there was a Jean-Claude Van Damme one where he was
an accidental spy?
Well, right, where one twin was a drug
that was
kingpin, and then the other one was a French legionnaire.
Yeah, we did this for Van Damme.
Right.
It was a hard target.
I think so.
It's with the girl that plays the sexy alien from Species.
Yes.
Super hot. Still super hot. Right. But yeah, it's funny when you try to picture Chris Rock as this debonair, well-educated Rhodes Scholar spy.
Yes, I went into this not watching trailer or anything. I just looked at a little movie poster.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay, this is the right movie. Let's go. Started watching it. 5 minutes in, Chris Rock dies. And I'm like, how's he get top billing? He's dead. What?
Right, and that's how we get introduced to it, right? Because we do get introduced to Chris Rock and Anthony Hopkins. They're trying to set up this deal that's supposed to go down, but the deal goes sideways. They're in Europe, I think Prague, I believe.
Right, doing a deal with the devil.
From Constantine.
I love him. It's the only part he can play is just scummy,
scumbag. It's so funny because I felt like he was such a much bigger star in my head because he plays bad guys so well.
Right.
But then he always just plays them for 10 minutes. I mean, hey, what a great way to get a check. Right?
Yep.
Because I believe he was also in the John Wick movies.
Yep.
He's the Baba Yaga.
Right. And I think he is one of the evil gods in American Gods.
Yeah. So
But like just the scummy one that's just smoking all the time, and like you buy his favors with booze.
It's easy buy,
I and not that he's a scummy person, like, but it's just like he plays that part really well.
Yeah.
So like definitely typecast.
Also, John Slattery, he's always playing like he's always on the good guy's side, but he's always like the one that's like, I don't care if people die.
You're right.
But yeah, we get introduced that way, but then what's it called? Chris Rock's twin brother character, he dies saving Anthony Hopkins' life.
Yes.
Right, and so we get introduced by our actual Chris Rock character. What's it called? Jace, or how was his name? Something.
I don't know, because they kind of go to. There's like his name, and then they call him his brother's name, and then the
Jake Hayes, yeah,
and then the brother is
Michael Turner,
undercover as Michael Turner. Yeah.
Yep. So here's all the characters Chris Rock is playing. Kevin Pope is the brother that died.
Yes.
Now Chris Rock, the one that we get introduced to, is Jake Hayes, who has to play Michael Turner, that was played by Michael Pope or Kevin Pope. There's so many characters. Wow, I don't even see him on here though. Okay. Yeah, and so we get introduced to it. He's like a little hustler, he's scalping tickets. His company's name is Big Time Tickets. He's taking multiple phone calls on a Nokia phone.
Right. He's hustling people on chess.
Oh, right. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I played chess in New York when I used to live there. In Vegas, very, very big fish in a small pond. When you play chess in New York, you're like you're like kelp or like plankton in the ocean. It's just, you're getting served, you're going to get hustled somehow, some way. And I don't think well under pressure. I gotta be one of those, like, I'm going to mail you my next move type of chess player.
The old Atari 2600 where you would hit you do your turn and it would take 30 minutes for it to decide what its next move was.
Exactly. But yeah, we get introduced to everyone's scoping him out because it's a CIA. They're what's it called, clandestine intelligence agency or something like that, or Central Intelligence Agency. But they see how Jake Hayes, played by Chris Rock, obviously, operates. So they decide to, what is it? But we get a little glimpse of his life, right?
Right.
Because we see that he's with the beautiful Kerry Washington. Just her lips. Right?
Okay. Well, so John Pope has
Kevin Pope.
Kevin Pope has gone undercover in Europe.
Yeah.
And has befriended, or at least gotten the trust of this arms dealer, and now bringing in the CIA to buy arms, or buy a nuclear weapon. But the guy only trusts Pope.
Yeah.
And so then when Chris Rock dies, they're like, crap, they don't trust any of us. We need him to, we need Pope to be our middleman.
Yeah. But he dies.
Right. And so then it's like, okay, well, he's got a brother in New York or New Jersey.
And which is why they're scoping him out at the park, because they still need to, they still want to do the deal.
Yep.
Right? Because they need to get this, what's it called? Suitcase nuke out of the market.
Right. Yep.
But we get a glimpse of Jake's life. We see that, he's been hustling, but he's been with Kerry Washington for, I believe, since college.
Yeah.
But they're broke. It's hard living in New York, right? And Kerry Washington's trying to explain to him, hey, look, I'm gonna. They have this cute little moment in the subway, but she's like, I'm gonna move. My Kenneth, who is her ex-boyfriend, has offered her a position in Seattle, which is going to also give her the opportunity to maybe go back to school and further her education.
Right.
Because she's like, I don't want to be married and arguing because we're both broke.
Right.
It's probably a more common thing to see, growing up in New York. It's hard to live, you know, and then not only that, but like you're constantly arguing, you're worrying about finances, and she probably just doesn't want to.
Because that is the number one reason couples argue is over finances.
Exactly, you know, and so he's, we learned that Jake was like adopted and all that stuff, or not adopted, but he grew up in a foster home and all that stuff, but he's just like doesn't know what to do. Kerry Washington's like, you're waiting for this like miracle moment where an opportunity is just gonna fall in your lap, and for most normal people, that's a
right. Yep,
that's an opportunity that might not come. You know, it sucks. But
total side story. But this comedian, he was like, yeah, I'm looking to get rich. I'm just like hoping one day I come across a big bag of money.
I see. I know, right? But if movies have taught you anything, someone's gonna want that money back.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm like, maybe I'll take a stack, but I'm not gonna take the whole bag. He's like, this will be good
just
for me.
Just a cut.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take that money cut.
Finder's fee.
Yeah. But Anthony Hopkins is able to set up a meeting with Jake in lieu, or like in the thoughts of him selling him some tickets.
Yep.
And so he presents this opportunity, like, listen, we're gonna pay you to play your brother. Right? He's like, oh, I never knew I had a brother. Well, it's like, well, you have this lung defect. And so the state thought maybe they didn't know if you were going to live. So they altered the documents to say that he didn't have a brother. And so they negotiate terms. Anthony Hopkins kind of lowballs him at $25K.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Because he's like, what's your offer? He's like, how much do you need? And he's like, $1 billion. And they're like, okay, well, you've overshot it.
Right. But like, Jake is very smart because he's like, listen, I don't know what kind of budget you guys are working with. And he also understands like the art of negotiation, right?
Oh yeah.
The first offer is probably going to be way lesser than what they could actually pay you.
Right. Cause you kind of saw a little of that as he's like trying to deal tickets with people.
Very street smart, right? And so he's like, offers 25, and he's like, I want 50, because I know you got more.
Yep.
And he's like, I want half now, half later. He's like, I'll give you 10 now, 40 later, which is still like that's kind of like a shitty deal, because you don't know if you're gonna. Because a lot of Chris Rock's lines in here are very hard to imitate. It's just but he has like little quips, like he's like, is this like. Standing in is like an hour. You want me to be with you for 9 days? That's a whole tour. It's like, is this like a slap on the wrist dangerous, or is it a bullet in the ass dangerous? But Chris Rock, or JK, he takes the offer because, well, like when are you gonna ever get an opportunity to make $50K?
Right, and Anthony Hopkins is like, well, for $20,000, you can put your girlfriend back in school.
Yeah,
you can,
stop her from falling back in love with Kenneth.
Right. Oh yeah. You can see that they did their homework.
Oh yeah, it's CIA, and then it's Anthony Hopkins. I feel like I feel like Anthony Hopkins just started acting when he was old, even though I know he didn't. I just can't picture him.
So he did like Clockwork Orange. And then
was he in Clockwork
and then it was
Orange?
like he didn't do anything till like he did one of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Or Star Trek movies.
Okay.
And so it was like it seemed like there was a huge gap, but maybe he was working and doing stuff that whole time. But for movies that I watch, it seemed like there was a 20-year gap.
Right. Those are just movies that Kobe wasn't watching either. Because he's been working since like the 60s.
Right.
Wow. I just can't picture him like young though. But they're able. Wait. In Clockwork Orange, was he one of the?
He was the main punk kid. He's the one who gets the drips in the eye, and then like he goes through the whole program, and then gets
him?
like rehabilitated.
Wait. Is Anthony Hopkins British?
Yeah.
Oh, never. Wow. You learn something, every day. Every day that you're alive. But yeah, they take him to the CIA agency. They get him to train. They give him homework. They put everything in I believe, Czech is what they said the language was. And everyone's doubting Anthony. Anthony Hopkins' team is like, maybe he could do it. The guy's street smart. Maybe he could pick it up. Anthony Hopkins, obviously, with the weight of like guilt that someone so young, so much younger than him, had to die for him to stay alive.
Right.
He's like, maybe he doesn't want to put Jake in harm's way.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, I could, if we had 6 months, I could get him to pass as his brother, but in 7 days, there's.
Yeah, what do you say? He's like, in 6 months, I could get him to fool his family.
Yeah,
but 8 days is impossible.
Right.
But they do. Oh yeah. They're able to like catch him up to a decent speed where they want to do a dry run at Kevin Pope's like home.
Right.
And so, Jake is able to kind of fool the doorman, the neighbors, and when he's all up in his brother's house, he's like, before he asks what kind of music does his brother like, and he's like jazz and classical. He's like, ain't no way someone like me would not like a little hip hop.
Right. Yep. He didn't know any rap songs.
Right. That's impossible. But all of a sudden he gets ambushed by a what they said like Afghani like assassin.
Yeah. And
at this point, Jake doesn't know that he could, they're sending assassins towards him.
Right.
So
yeah, because he just knows that I don't need that his brother even got murdered, right? Does he?
Yeah, no, he doesn't know. He thought he got. Anthony Hopkins told him that he died in a car crash or like a helicopter crash. But they lose sight of Jake. The assassin ends up killing himself because I'm pretty sure that death would be way better than if he came back.
Right,
failed.
and they said that they hired people into this like Red Hood or whatever, and then they take a death oath.
Yeah, so
they kill themselves for the cause.
And Anthony Hopkins goes back to the agency. He's like, "See, we should have been upfront with everything,
right?
Because now he's spooked.
Yeah,
now he's scared.
Oh yeah, because this is also a different. This Afghani group is a different group than the group that's selling the nuclear weapon, and they kind of come with the idea that the Afghani group is trying to kill the CIA because they're higher bidders.
Yeah,
and so if they can kill them off, then the Afghani group will be the high bidders, and they'll be able to get the bomb.
Right. It's a spy movie, so it's a pretty complicated triple cross in here.
Right. Got some twists.
But Jake ends up running to his foster mother's house, and like Anthony Hopkins kind of figures that's where he's gonna be, but only he knows. Right. But he talks to his mom or his foster mom, and his foster mom is like, so many kids came through here and they've all did well for themselves, but none of them had half the potential that you had.
Right.
And Chris Rock, he's feeling guilty. Like he probably knows inside that he knows he could do better.
Right. Yep.
Right. And so he decides. As he's trying to escape, he's kind of conflicted. But Anthony Hopkins reaches him, and they talk at a diner. Anthony Hopkins doesn't really know what to say, so he's like, "I'm gonna go outside and count to 10. If you don't want to come, then you don't come." He goes outside, counts to 10, and he comes back inside. He's like, "Well, that didn't work." And Chris Rock says, "You would have had better luck if you just said, 'Get in the car, bitch.'" And so to hear Anthony Hopkins go, "Well, get in the car, bitch," is so fucking funny. They end up getting to Prague. They're setting up in the hotel. A little glitch happens though, because Kevin Pope's girlfriend from a reporter from CNN comes, and Mike doesn't know what to do, or Jake doesn't know what to do. But oh man, Garcelle Bouvias, when she was on the Jamie King show or Jamie Foxx show.
Okay.
And that was his love interest.
Yes.
But
yes.
I had like the hugest crush on her growing up too. I was like, oh my god. And then so to see her in her boudoir, her lingerie, he's like, oh, don't cheat.
Just eat, no cheat.
Yeah.
Just eat, no cheat.
And it's funny because during this whole time, Anthony Hopkins and one of his partners, or like one of the members in his group, is like, they broke up because he wouldn't open up, and so during the whole dinner with them, all he does is be vulnerable and open emotionally.
Right. Yep.
And so, she's progressing pretty far. They go back to the hotel, but when they kiss, she's like, "You're not Michael."
Some things, like a fingerprint. Kisses like a fingerprint, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he was like frozen too. He's like, I don't want to cheat.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, one thing I did forget to mention though is like when they're getting ready, Jake does call back to the States and tries to call his girlfriend like, I got a new job, I gotta make money, like just don't leave, wait for me before you leave.
And then he looks across the room and she's getting dressed and she's like just in
So sexy.
yeah, and he's like, you don't know how much I'm giving up right now to keep this job for you.
To keep our relationship strong. Oh man. But yeah, but then they get caught up by who I believe to be the Afghani buyers.
Yep.
And so Anthony Hopkins ends up saving them, even though they still fell through the laundry chute. For some reason, I was like thinking too in my head this entire time that like someone was gonna double cross them in Anthony Hopkins groups, and it never happened.
It didn't. You're right.
I was waiting for it because
that would have been yet another twist.
Another twist, right? But the next day they end up meeting Satan from Constantine.
Yep.
And the deal goes rather smoothly. Almost. They did have the briefcase tied to Jake's retina scans,
Right.
But he does have to stall because the team from the CIA wants to get all the codes.
Right. Yep.
And so he's just
because if they can download all the codes, then they can basically just
disarm it.
Right? Yeah.
But like he's like blabbering about like nonsense. He's just like, I'm gonna try to say the smartest things that I know within this realm. And Satan's like, come on, what are you doing? But the deal.
But they make the joke. They're like, hey, you wouldn't buy a car without looking under the hood.
Yeah, he's like,
I gotta make sure the film casing of the plutonium detonator core is.
What are you talking about? This is uranium. But they end up kind of almost going pretty smoothly, right? Until the Afghani buyers come.
Yep.
And Satan finds out that his team double crossed him.
Right.
And then Satan's team finds out they've been double crossed by the Afghanis. Because Satan's like, I told you not to deal with them. They are gonna double cross, and then obviously he dies.
Yep.
Right. At this point, Jake and Anthony Hopkins are trying to escape, which they do with the bomb, but the bomb gets lost during the chase.
Yeah.
It's all bad. Everything, the whole plan's gone kaput, right? But the Afghan group finds out that they still need Jake's eye retina scan.
Right. And they're like, hey, they'll get a hacker to be able to break this, but at least we've got like 5 to 7 hours to try to track it down before they're going to be able to crack the eye retina code.
Yeah, well, they never gave a timeline for how long it would take.
Well, they said worst it's going to be 12 hours. Best is going to be like 5 hours. So we have. The one guy said that as they were kind of like walking.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So they decide to dangle Jake as bait because it's still way easier.
Right.
First you got to find a hacker, then even though they have 5 to 12 hours, they still need to find somebody that they know is good enough to crack it, because you don't want the bomb to go off. When it's like if there's like a fail safe, right?
Right.
So they dangle Jake, but the Afghans, they go to his hotel, they find a record. And so they find out that he calls his
that's
girlfriend.
right, because the one call he makes is back to the United States, and they track it, and it's...
Yeah, they messed up. They messed... You never...
Yeah.
Come on, man. Not at the hotel. You go somewhere public phone, man.
Right.
But
That's
they
what the
end up,
burners are for.
yeah, right. They end up taking Jake's girl hostage, and so they have to go back to New York. Jake also gets caught after they sent out a decoy
Yep.
van for them to chase, but Anthony Hopkins is like, wait, hold on.
That's too obvious.
Yeah, it's too obvious. So he's able to help Jake escape. They end up finding out, they ping the location from the phone that one of the kidnappers had used to Grand Central Station.
Right, because he made a phone call, and they're like, oh, we'll use your technology back on you.
Right, because Jake, he was like, well, you guys need the 7-letter password.
Yep.
And so while they crack the code or whatever, the disarming code, Jake does see it. It's a 3 combination, four number 3 different combinations.
Yeah.
And so they go to Grand Central Station. If you guys have ever been to New York, there's a reason why it's called Grand Central Station. It's like in the heart of Manhattan.
Yep.
And they're able to locate the bomb. It's like in the lost luggage room. They have a little gunfight, and they're able to get to the bomb after the gunfight. But Officer Seal, he gets shot by one of the Afghan leader. Right. I don't know if he's Afghan. We just know that the mercenary that they had sent was Afghan.
Right. Yeah.
So he could be something else. I'm sorry for doing that. But they're able to trick. Because then, they're like, hey, if you don't touch that bomb again, I'm going to kill your girlfriend. Chris Rock is able to fake kill Anthony Hopkins.
Yep.
And Anthony Hopkins is able to shoot the guy. They shoot him a couple times. But Chris Rock remembers the combination because he ties when he said, whenever I see numbers, I tie them to chess moves and tickets.
Right.
Or Madison Square Garden seats.
Yep.
And so they're able to disarm the bomb. Everything gets pretty settled down. They go to the Wall of Remembrance at the CIA building, where he takes his girlfriend or fiance and his foster mom. Talks about how that part to me was kind of corny. I guess maybe it was just the line delivery that was kind of corny to me.
Right.
But he does what's it called? He invites Anthony Hopkins. He's like, oh, I don't know.
Now that we got money, we're getting married,
yeah,
and so you're of course invited to the wedding. And he's like, yeah,
but he was okay. I get it. No attachments.
Right.
All right.
Right, because earlier Anthony Hopkins has made a comment about he used to be married, but he wouldn't get married again because of the job, and you don't really want to have
attachments, something that they can hold over.
Yep.
Which happened to Chris Rock, right? But Anthony Hopkins ends up showing up. He plays a little joke on him. He's like, well, Kevin did put somebody away. He's escaped, but he thinks you're him. And he's just like, no, I just want to be married. I want to be happy for 2 years, miserable for the next 40. And he's like, just kidding, man, just kidding. But we might need you in the future. So, keep this little calling card right here.
Yep. And then they get him a little, some tickets to go to Hawaii for their honeymoon.
Nice. A little cheap, though. A little cheap. They could have sent him to Fiji, the Maldives.
Right.
Hawaii's so played out, It's so basic. I want to go vacationing to one of those places where the hut is right on the ocean.
Oh, I so want to do that. Yes. Maldives or out
yeah. That's so cool. And they have the hole in the floor. You could just jump into the water.
Right.
It's just with my luck, I jump into the water and there's a shark right there.
But it'd be okay.
You punch it in the nose.
Right. You pet it. They're friendly sharks when they're near people.
Only one way, because if you pet it the other way, you're gonna cut up your hand. Then you're dead. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So if you go against the grain, the skin or the scales it has, it's actually sharp enough to tear your hand up.
Good to know. Good to know.
But the movie just ends right there. All right, let's get to our other section where we have high star, low star. Kobe?
So we got 10 out of 10. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I saw this film the other day. I thought after reading reviews that it was going to be one of the worst movies I ever saw. I was mistaken. I found the film very entertaining. Hopkins and Rock work well together. The general idea of the movie was sound, and I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of the film. Maybe it was saved by the actors for me, but I really did enjoy. It's worth seeing, and you can judge for yourself.
Right. And then we have a 1 out of 10. Jesus, this guy was harsh. Can Chris Rock be any more annoying? Anthony Hopkins is one of my all-time favorite modern actors, but in a BBC interview, he let it be known that he just finished on. What does that mean? Bad Company, one of the most appalling movies of his career. Did it for the money, he admitted. To tell you the truth, he's his usual high standard performance with his heavyweight presence. It's Chris Rock that really sours the books. On this predictable doppelganger save the day in the last minute movie, if you're a fan of Chris Rock, go for it. But if you're a Hopkins fan, don't watch this movie unless you're cornered with nothing else to watch in the multiplex, as I was most unfortunate in finding myself. Oh man, this 1 out of 10 was from this review was from 2002. That was pretty rough. Oh man, yeah. Colby, what were some of your initial first thoughts about like the premise of this movie?
Oh, I liked it. I like when they have like a movie like this. You got some twists when it's not super straightforward. You kind of like there's like little surprises, and you know sometimes when you get a comedy actor like this, they're relying more on like their jokes than a well written story. But I'm not sure it's a 10 out of 10 kind of well written story. But it had enough twists and turns, enough little surprises that it definitely kept you interested, kept it well paced.
Yeah. Kobe, I don't think Anthony Hopkins was in A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
No, it was Malcolm McDowell.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe. Oh, are you from the other universe? Are you the? Yes.
You are. I am right. Yes, 100%. When you pulled that up, I'm like, yep, that is correct.
Yeah, I was like, but we gotta see what he used to look like, because it might drive me crazy. I don't know if we'll get to see it. Oh yeah, we definitely. You guys look it up. Look up how Anthony Hopkins used to look like. But I just really it's so much easier to picture him as an old dude.
Oh, yep, that's definitely him.
Oh no, Anthony Hopkins kind of looks like the German from the Captain America movies. Like, you know, the one that gets stuck in the. I think he looks way better as an old man.
Agreed.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You're right. Silence of the Lambs. There we go. Yep.
But no, you're right. Definitely, it's really easy for like a comedic actor to kind of just phone it in as being, oh, I'm going to be the comedic relief, even though I'm the main character.
Right.
Which, I mean, he does have like a lot of great like one-liners.
Yeah.
You know, it's Chris Rock. I feel like this was 2000 to 2010 was like his prime. He was doing more movies, more voice acting work. I don't know what he's doing lately. Maybe he's just producing and writing. There's more money in that, maybe. But he was definitely in his pocket. I like the one scene where they tried to kidnap him, and Anthony Hopkins is like, "Tell me all the details before you got kidnapped."
Oh yeah. So when the CIA kidnaps him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's like, "Well, I could tell it was that person because I could feel her titties on my back."
And I know that this guy over here was Carlos because his breath smells like crap.
And then he's like, "I could tell it was Seeley because I stole his wallet." And he's like, "Yo, Seeley, tell me why a married man needs a condom in his wallet? Huh? Did you tell your wife?" I thought that was gonna come up later again too, because Seeley was the one that got shot finding his girlfriend Julie.
Right.
And he does like thank Chris Rock. He's like, hey man, like thanks for keeping me off that wall. And I thought he was gonna be like, all right, cool, stop cheating on your wife though. But I mean, there is plenty of what was nice to see, because you always, like, when you watch these like CIA spy movies, like you always see the one CIA director type of person,
right?
He's constantly like, yeah, whatever. If he dies, he dies. Who was he played by? What was his name? Oh yeah, John Slattery, Roland Yates. We always see that type of character. So it was nice to see like Anthony Hopkins playing the other side of the coin.
Right, yeah.
He obviously here he has like the guilt from Kevin Pope like dying and saving, you know what I'm saying? So he probably doesn't want his brother to suffer the same fate.
Right, and you can see that relationship where he and Pope were kind of close.
Yeah.
And that there's like this, I want to be close to you, but I don't really know you kind of.
And so I know some of you guys are going to be asking, like, well, how is this a new start, a fresh start movie? Because, like him escaping the life of being a hustler.
Right.
And like, honestly, it's New York, if you guys are fans of like that whole scene, like hip hop scene, it's always like in rap, it's always talking about like drug dealing and all that stuff. And like, Kevin could have, or Jake could have gotten into that. He's smart.
Right.
He's business savvy.
Yeah.
He definitely could have been doing way more dangerous things, but he kept it to like ticket scalping.
Right. Hustling instead of peddling.
Yeah, peddling, you know what I'm saying? So like, but it's still like, hustling scalp tickets isn't gonna get you like kingpin New York type rich. It's gonna
right, and he's got a part-time job as a DJ at night, and then when his girl breaks up with him, he's like puts the record, like it's all of us like do, and then he puts on the record, I'm all out of love, I'm so lost without you.
He gets fired that night too. He's like, bro, I can't keep you on if you're gonna clear my fucking club out like this, But like all the things that he was doing really was just keeping his head above water. He left college because maybe he felt like college he couldn't afford it.
Right. Yeah.
That's a little bit of it.
It's one of those things like, college is a full-time deal. Yeah. And if you're like, I got to do this for 4 years and I'm, from like a foster kid and, I'm like struggling for money, I know hustling, I can make this much.
Yeah.
Is it worth me taking 4 years off of that to possibly,
make the same amount of money I'm making now?
Right.
And, it's just like, it's super unfortunate. So you're like, oh, well, the end of this movie where he could independent contract with the CIA or something.
Right. And it's also one of those things where like, he's lived the life where his brother was very successful. And so it's like, whoa, because he like makes that comment. He's like, look at me in a suit,
Yeah, because
he goes to his brother's apartment and he's like, oh man, I could live in a place like this.
And it's like, it sucks because like when they're trying to explain Kevin Pope's life,
right,
because he had that lung infection and all that stuff, his brother got to live this life that he's only seen on MTV Cribs and stuff, because he gets taken in by this affluent family. He goes like to school, he becomes like a Navy officer, he's also a Rhodes Scholar.
Yep.
So it's just like, and I think maybe seeing that, he's like, wow, I could do that.
Right, exactly. It's like, hey, we were twins. We're same genetics, same everything. It's just opportunity gave one of us
everything,
and the other one nothing. But when it all comes down to it, if it's just hard work, we're the same and we should be in the same spot.
Right. And for him to be able to like, come on, he saved New York and possible, like,
Right.
generations
Yeah.
of people.
I'm like, and you could see how they did a good job playing on how intelligent he was. And even though he's like clowning when he's with the CIA, then like, but when they're not there, he's studying the books, trying to learn the Czech. He's, doing different things, trying to, he hates getting up early, but by the third day he's up
Before
they get in the room.
What did he say? He said, "Where is the hospital? I have a vaginal infection." Yeah, so he has he has the ability.
Yeah.
And and like the only thing I kind of wish, I was like, all right, maybe is he going to work for the CIA now?
I wasn't sure if that's where they were going with at the end.
But I feel like that's it's a little open ended.
Right.
Obviously now he's able to pay for Kerry Washington, his girlfriend's like tuition.
Right.
And then he gives his no, he actually got 100,000.
Right.
Right. You add on.
Yeah, because he made that comment too. Because they were like, "Well, we can only give you 10,000, and we'll give you 40,000 when it's done." And he's like, "Well, if you're only going to give me 10,000, you should give me 90,000 when it's done, unless I've got a triplet."
Unless you got a third brother I don't know about, I'm the only option. Yeah, there's so many great one-liners with Chris Rock. And so, like, it was funny when he tried to give his foster mom the check, and she's like, "Oh my God, 90,000." He's like, "Whoa, wrong check. This for us when we get married." Which it feels like, hopefully, like obviously Chris Rock in this character, he's smart, so hopefully they didn't use up too much money on the wedding,
Right?
And they save the rest. Maybe he goes to college. Who knows? That's enough, right?
Yeah.
Maybe junior college.
Junior college, yeah. How much college he had before, just to finish.
Oh, exactly right. So we don't know what really happens to him, but Anthony Hopkins does hint at the possibility of maybe needing his services in the future.
Right.
Because he's smart, he's quick on his feet, he could BS, and now he has a little bit of field action. A little killed one of the main bad guys.
Right. Yep. He had got his shot in.
After Anthony Hopkins, but we don't know how good he is. So that's how this movie really is a fresh start movie. Not every fresh start has to be at the beginning. How many times I look up lists of like fresh start movies, and movies like Wild came out with Reese Witherspoon. Mm-hmm. And it always feels like they're these movies about self-discovery and not like, well, like maybe we gotta close the chapter before we can open up a new book.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things I was thinking while I was watching this movie, that's like, why doesn't Chris Rock act more now?
I don't know. Like you said, I think he is probably does a lot more behind the scenes stuff. Because I think he's like written stuff, and he's like directed and produced.
Yeah. Well, like it's hard to say that because it's hard to really think about it because he was in the movie Spiral, which is like the most recent thing. But yeah, it looks like when you go to his IMDb, a lot of it is like executive producer.
Yeah.
And maybe that just fits him more. But man, I really did love Chris Rock movies because like I watched like Head of State where he.
Oh right. Yep.
Down to Earth.
Pootie Tang.
Well, was he in the movie?
He was in it, like but not cameo, much. Right? He was like the DJ. So like he kind of narrated.
Yeah. So. And like obviously he was like in the grown-ups
the
movies.
Radio announcer or whatever.
Yeah, and obviously he was like in the grown-ups movies.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I wish you get to see him a little bit more. He was in the Spiral movie, which I heard wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, because that Saw series, I think I watched like an hour explanation talking about the timeline of that movie. And I was just like, this is complicated. There's a lot of moving pieces in that movie. But also Anthony Hopkins, like even though like that review guy did say he did it for a check, he's still super good. Like Anthony Hopkins never feels like he's phoning it in.
Right.
Now
And if this was him phoning it in, then wow.
and you know, I haven't seen Anthony Hopkins in a cool minute, but you know, we know why.
Thor. He's Odin.
Yeah. But he wasn't in the Love and Thunder Thor.
That's true.
He was, what was the last one? Oh, Ragnarok, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously he's still working, but you know, he's old. He's born 1937, man. He's almost like 100.
That's older than my dad.
He was born right after the Great Depression. He was not depressed anymore. Oh man, but yeah, I'm like I'm not too fond of like spy movies as much because like it's always overly serious, like the Mission Impossible stuff, the James Bond stuff.
Right.
There's never really any like levity to them.
And it was nice that there's only one comic in this, one funny person. Ooh. Because you get that a lot too, where you're like, buddy cop, you know, Jackie Chan, Chris, you know.
Oh, Chris Tucker?
Chris Tucker, kind of like, you know.
But that's like not a spy, that's like a cop. You know?
Yeah.
So it's a little, it's same realm, but like I feel like buddy cop always works to me.
Right.
Like Lethal Weapon, 48 Hours. As long as you got one funny person and like one straight person, which like this is pretty much it.
Right.
So like that's why I love this movie because you know Chris Rock obviously kind of like relieves some of the tension, but also like movies like Secret Service. Mm-hmm. You know, which was like it derails from the comic, but and it works. It's very, what is it, like a satire of old British spy movies.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you a big fan of like spy movies growing up?
I watched a lot of like James Bond and stuff with my dad.
Yeah,
but
there's
like
sexy ladies in there.
Probably, yeah.
And who was it like Sean Connery and who's the
Roger Moore.
Roger Moore.
See, so we watched more Roger Moore because my mom liked Roger Moore, but she didn't like young Sean Connery. Like later on, like she was like, oh, you know, he got sexy when he got old, but she was not. She was always like, oh. And when he was James Bond, she's like, why would these ladies all like throw themselves at him?
Why?
He's gross.
Was it because he was like hairy or something?
I don't know, but she just much more the
Roger Moore.
The Roger Moore. That was her.
I'm kind of glad that Tom Selleck never played James Bond. It's like, no, he has to be at least from the United Kingdom.
Yeah. Wait,
was Sean Connery, was he like Irish or Scottish?
Scottish? Yeah, I think so.
Oh, a lot of people were probably mad about that. Also,
but it's still within the realm of
the UK. Right?
Yeah.
So you watch those ones, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny though is like another one that's like sort of like a comedic spy is like the I Spy movies, or not the I Spy. What was it? The Get Smart.
Oh,
So like even back then they had like comedic spy movies just because you know
right.
Like Austin, like that was what Austin Powers was to me.
Yeah.
But you know that's Mike Myers playing an overly horny. And then obviously after like this sort of like small part of like these comedy spy movies, then we get the Bourne Identity series.
Right. Yeah.
Which you know I want to always bring up at some point that I was an extra. And I got to meet Matt Damon after taking a dump.
You took a dump or he did?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Matt Damon's not pooping where the extras poop. He's just going in there to like take a piss. Much shorter than I thought. I was taller than Matt Damon. I thought he was like 6'2". He's like 5'8".
Right?
Looks way tall. That's how he makes Ben Affleck look so tall.
Yeah.
Well, Ben Affleck probably is tall.
Yeah, Ben Affleck's probably like
6'4", right?
Well, he's probably like 6'2", since you thought Matt Damon was taller.
Man, wait, are you trying to tell me that Batman it was only 6'2"? You know?
Ben Affleck's height.
All right. Oh, was it on here? Height in feet, because we're American.
Oh, you're a 6'4". You're right. Okay.
Well, I was right on the dot. Hold on. Let's check, man, dude. I know we're really just trying to pad out time right now.
5'10". That's my height.
That's a lie.
Super tall.
That was a lie, because I was kind of looking down at man, dude. And I'm 5'10", so Ben Affleck's probably really 6'2". But yeah, so this is how this movie kind of like starts, becomes a fresh start movie, because we really get to see the ending of his chapter of being sort of a slacker.
Right.
You know, were you one of those kids growing up where you're like, oh, there's so much potential?
Yes, there was lots of things. Looking back, there was lots of things I was like, wow, I really just half-assed that, and I could have done so much more.
Yeah, I hate that about me too. But the thing about it is like, especially during the time that like I think me and you grew up sort of during the whole like Howard Hughes, is that what his name is? Like Breakfast Club?
Yeah. No, not Howard Hughes.
That's like from the 50s. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Right.
If you saw Kobe's face. John Hughes.
Yeah.
Right. And then I grew up like in the 90s and all that stuff. But like they really didn't teach you how to be a good student.
Right.
They kind of just taught you how to be a student like across the board. Like everybody learned the same.
Yeah.
And you know,
exactly.
And obviously Chris Rock in this movie is also of the same ilk. Right. Because he grew up probably like around like late 80s, early 90s, being in school, and obviously being a foster kid is already hard enough. It's easy to like kind of go off stray and all that stuff. I didn't start like enjoying being a student until I was like in a vocational school. Mm-hmm. Because like I finally actually learned how I learned better. And sometimes that
makes sense.
Yeah, and then that opportunity isn't really afforded to like a lot of people, because like I was always jealous of those kids that could just like sit down and read and like learn.
Yeah. No, it was certainly not me.
I'd get so bored.
I could memorize like a lecture, like if I had like I feel like more like college is probably more
lecture based, right?
Yeah. But like, yeah, a teacher could give a lecture, and I didn't even really have to take notes, and I would remember everything they said like on a test.
Oh, yeah.
But then I took like some online classes.
Nope.
And I was like, struggled hard. I was like, I have to read everything, and then I have to take hardcore notes because
I have to actually use a highlighter.
Because I can't, like, that's no retention in my brain on that. It's just.
Yeah, and then some people like Chris Rock in this movie learn way more doing. Right? Me, I was like way better at like study groups. Mm-hmm. Like if we all like sort of like focused on a portion of like what the curriculum was going to be about, and then spoke about it later, like after, like come together and talk about it, I retained that information way more. Right. And so just like Chris Rock in this movie, he's a little bit of everything. Yeah. Obviously, he didn't have to use the phrase, "Where's the hospital? I have a vaginal infection." But it just goes to show you that, like, you know, when you're given like a goal to work towards and all that stuff, obviously the pressure with like Julie leaving was also a part of that. You know, he didn't want to leave the person that he loved, which kind of sucks, right? Because I wish there was a little bit more time with Julie, like trying to see what their whole relationship was about. Because, you know, first she was like, "I'm going to leave you because I'm going to leave this whole situation, and I have a nice job lined up in Seattle." Right. But they like sort of separate for a cool minute, and then he calls and she's like, "Oh, I'll wait for you, baby." Yep. So there's a lot of things that you can kind of take away with this. Obviously, the main point of this movie is to tell a funny spy espionage story. But you could also look at other like underlying
Right.
things.
Onions. It's got layers.
Every good movie has a layer.
Absolutely.
Just depending on how young you pick the onion.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, we're coming up to our hour. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out our other months. We have Van Damme month. We have Nicolas Cage month. We have horror theme months and Christmas theme months. But if this is the first time you guys are joining us, we have our reviews in 4 different sections. We have Stream It, DVD it, Blu-ray it, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where are you at?
I am not sure what extras we get with a Blu-ray on this.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't have any sequels or anything. I may have to just DVD this one.
Yeah. This one's like an easy watch for me as well. Like, there's obviously it's a movie from 2002, so I don't know how the quality of like the actual video would get any better. It might actually worsen whenever they try to remaster like old movies.
Yeah.
Don't really know what you would get on the extras thing. It might be pretty sparse. Maybe a couple deleted scenes. Maybe a couple.
You get the interview where Anthony Hopkins talks about how this is the worst movie ever made.
Right. Maybe you get an extended cut where Garcelle Bouvias is a little bit like half naked, a little bit more.
Right.
There's a porn star that kind of looked like her. I want to Lacey Duvall. I don't. If you ever hear this, thank you for getting me through high school. You know, someone's gonna be like, "Wow, that guy watched porn in high school." Yeah,
What high school student didn't?
exactly.
It's like it was on VHS and I was watching it.
Right? It's always funny. Like, there's always like those clips whenever they do like those not old movies, but whenever like a movie is set like in the 70s or something. Like, I don't know if this is a specific movie, but I always feel like, hey, we found porn mags in the woods. You wanna go tonight and look through the. So Lacey Duvall.
I remember finding porn mags in the.
Right.
We don't have the woods out here, but I remember finding them out in the desert. We called it the bums bush. There was a bush that was like, it seemed like somebody like had laid underneath it.
Yeah.
Like it kind of was like, it was a big bush, and there was porn magazines in there. Now I think back, I'm like, oh, I touched that with my bare skin. That's disgusting. I didn't touch anything else. It wasn't like that.
Why are these 2 pages stuck together?
Right. So it must be because it's out here in the desert. Somebody just spilled a soda on it or something.
Right. Curious. Then, you know, kids are so lucky nowadays. They just have it all up in their phones.
My forearms would have been so strong as a child.
Kobe would be in the Olympics right now.
I would look like Popeye.
He's like, check out this butterfly stroke because of my strong forearms.
My arms are like paddles, just bigger on the end, just swimming. Whoosh, whoosh.
Oh man, but yeah, so yeah, easy. I think a nice little DVD collection of Chris Rock movies. You know, just it's an easy watch.
If we had like a. Well, as we said, like, you know, just DVD. But yeah, I would ultimate box like a Chris Rock collection or an Anthony Hopkins collection. Either one of them.
I feel like he'd be mad if you put this in this collection. He's like, no.
You know, they always have that like one movie that's like the filler movie,
right?
That way they can make it, you know, 6 movies in this collection.
Just enough movies to fill up one Blu-ray.
Right? Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out our links down below. We have links to our YouTube commentary channel where we do more recent things. We also have our Amazon affiliate links where one day me and Kobe will go Canadian tuxedo style to Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, yeah. And we'll post pictures.
And all we'll do is just recite Roadhouse like quotes.
Yep. We better get a good waitress.
Roadhouse.
Of course, our socials are down below. We got our Facebook, Twitter, Insta, and we want you to interact with us. Please give us some suggestions and some love. Share us with your friends.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out who does the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. And it's on her album Music Podcast 3. And her Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.